So is the 2024 Toyota Tacoma the fourth generation Toyota Tacoma really better than the third generation Toyota Tacoma? It's a big controversy out there, lots of opinions and things. So I thought we'd look at 8 different points to consider as to whether or not it's really better. Number 1, the cost. Well, if you're looking at just money alone, then no, it's not better because it costs more money. I don't know. Everything costs more money these days. Look at the price of eggs. Are they any better? Not really. Number 2, options. Now, this is kind of a controversy. This kind of goes either way, I think. You know, on the outgoing third gen, Toyota, and this is their procedure, the way they operate, I guess, they kind of threw everything in at the end, right? I mean, you got power seats, you got connectivity, you got all the other tech options and things that are out there, all kinds of stuff that they threw in at the end of the life cycle of the third gen. That, of course, is to keep it more valuable because all of the competitors are doing these things. They had to do it. We didn't get all that stuff thrown in for the same price, the same higher price on the fourth gen, but we got a lot of new tech, right? We got the bigger 14-inch screen, if you like it. I like it. You got the different suspension in the rear, the different brakes. You got the different gauge cluster with all of the different options and settings and things you can do. You got a redesign of the whole truck. I would give that to the fourth generation, even though we don't get every option thrown in. You can get it, but you're going to pay more for it. Number 3, noises. This is starting to come up a lot as more people get the truck, I guess. The fourth generation makes different noises. Now, is it a bad thing? I don't know that it's a bad thing. For instance, we have the turbo noise. I, for one, happen to love that. I think it's pretty cool. When you get on and off the accelerator, you can hear that turbo whir. I think it's awesome. But you also get a more sewing machine kind of sounding engine, right? It makes a lot of clanky, rattly noises. It's normal for the truck, but it's different. You also get some cycling. There's a fan, it goes on and off and on and off, and the air conditioner cycles on and off and on and off. Everything seems to always be going on and off. If those kind of things drive you nuts, then I guess you would say the third gen is better, even though it had a strange kind of sound to it as well. Another one of these that's kind of based on your own personal preference, right? Number 4, power. Well, this is a no-brainer, right? The fourth generation is quicker. It's faster off the line, it's more responsive. There is no, if not just tiny little lag to it, and you really have to be particular if you're even going to pick that up. It is by far better, much more fun to drive, much more responsive, and some might even argue it's safer because when you're getting on freeways or trying to get in and out of maybe tight situations, you have the power to do it. Number 5. The technology. Already mentioned that a little bit. We have all new tech in this truck. Everything is brand new radio, brand new infotainment screen, brand new gauge cluster with all kinds of stuff in it. I love that. I think it's awesome. And it's definitely a step above what we had in the dated third generation. Number 6, I guess it's number 6, problems. Early on, there were some transmission issues. There is a technical service bulletin, a TSB out there for early production VIN numbers where there were maybe some issues with the transmission. And I have heard of a handful that have actually been involved in this where the transmissions have actually been or are being replaced. Is it a big problem? No, it's not a broad recall type problem. Were there problems with the third gen? Of course there were. There are problems with any vehicle. It's a mechanical piece of equipment, right? It's never going to be perfect. The good thing is that Toyota takes care of these things. When problems arise, they fix them. Plus, that's what warranty is for, isn't it? You've got 3 years, 36,000 miles on this truck. everything is going to be taken care of. There's no real concerns, at least not for me. And by the way, the previous 4th gen that I had, the 2024, did fall within that TSB range. I never had any issues with it. It was spot on perfect, no problems with the transmission. And speaking of the transmission, I'm going to put a number 6A in there. The transmission in this truck is awesome. It's perfectly mated with this 4-cylinder turbo, seamless, smooth. One of the big complaints that's always been out there about the 3rd gen is gear hunting. Everybody complains about gear hunting. It never knows what gear to be in, never knows what gear to stay in, never rides in the high gears. I haven't noticed any issues like that whatsoever with the 3rd gen. Definitely an improvement. I'm sorry, the 4th gen. Definitely an improvement in my experience. Number 7, fuel economy. You know, I think a lot of us had a big expectation, me included, that when the 4th gen came out, it was going to be massively better as far as fuel economy goes. I had the same feeling about the Tundra when they redesigned it, right? I was wrong, you were wrong. The Tundra doesn't get much better gas mileage, and neither does the 4th gen. Marginally better. I mean, it probably gets 2, maybe 3 miles per gallon better, depending upon how you drive it, right? But let's be honest. Let's go back to the old adage. It is a truck, right? If you're looking to get high fuel economy, then buy a Honda Civic or maybe some sort of hybrid or something, right? It's still a truck. Number 8, ride quality. This is a huge improvement in my experience, the 4th gen over the 3rd. It's nice and smooth. It corners well. Honestly, it really kind of drives like a big SUV. I've noticed on the roads that are really bumpy, I don't have that kind of jumping around kind of feeling. Nothing slams, nothing crazy. One of the concerns I've heard out there about the 4th gen are the bump stops that they put in the truck. Are you constantly hitting the bump stops? I suppose it depends on how you use the truck and where you're using the truck. I haven't noticed anything like that. I'm not hitting the bump stops or anything, you know, like going over railroad tracks or rougher roads and things like that. No issues at all for me. I suppose it would be a concern if you're a big time avid off-roader and you're going over deep divots and things. But let's be honest, in any truck, you're going to bottom out the suspension unless you've paid a lot of money for something new. And it's not going to be really any different in this truck. All in all, is the truck better? In the end, it really depends on your perspective, personal perspective. I know there's a lot of people out there that really love the 3rd gen. I love the 3rd gen, and I still do. It's an awesome truck. That doesn't mean that this truck isn't better or Toyota couldn't advance it or improve it, which I think they've done. Leave a comment, let me know, and be honest. If you have experience in both the 3rd gen and the 4th gen, which one do you find better and why? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.